Hello, I am Baymax. Let us talk about movies with AMC Movie Talk. Please enjoy.
Hey everyone, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all of the latest news from the world of movies, plus a little bit of insight into what it all means. Joining us as always is AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the internet, coming to you live from right here at the Stream.tv studios here in Hollywood, California. And I love Mondays because it means a return to Movie Talk.
Woo! Also your AMC Movie News Senior Editor, Amy Rose Eisenbach.
I love Movie Talk, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little tired. I've been at AFI Fest. I have caught so many amazing films, and we'll be discussing them on AMCI Indie Spotlight this week.
Also here, writer-director John Schnepp.
I'm tired because I partied too much. I went to Designer Con, which was awesome. Got some cool T-shirts and weird vinyl toys. And went to Marcus Gallery, saw a great art show, and then chilled yesterday watching Walking Dead. But I'm still tired.
And hey, listen, just before we get the first thing, I want to remind all you guys, I'm participating in No Shave November in an attempt to raise some money for the American Cancer Society. In the description of this video, if you're watching this later, you'll find a link to my fundraising page. So please let my stupid-looking face remind you to click on over to that link and donate to the American Cancer Society today. Thanks a lot.
You have a little hair, actually.
It looks like 2 or 3 days. I'm 10 days in, but I'm starting to look like 2 or 3 days of a normal man, right? All right, Ashley, let's start things off.
The box office numbers are in, and it was a personal healthcare companion kind of weekend as the new Disney film Big Hero 6 took the #1 spot at the box office, shocking most industry analysts by beating out Interstellar. Big Hero 6 took in just over $56 million, while Interstellar took in $50 million. In the #3 spot is Gone Girl, making $6.1 million in its 6th week of release. #4 is the horror film Ouija, making $6 million. And rounding out the top 5 was the Bill Murray film St. Vincent, taking in $5.7 million. John, what stands out to you about this weekend's box office report?
Well, clearly the #1 and the #2 spots. I mean, if you had told me, I put this on my Facebook, if you told me just 3 weeks ago that Big Hero 6 would sweep all 3 categories of better critic reviews, better audience reviews, and higher at the box office, I would have said you were crazy. I was talking to a Disney rep just 2 weeks ago, all right, who was saying, yeah, we have really good hopes for Big Hero 6. We just don't want to get crushed by Interstellar. That was a Disney rep telling me that. We just want to do well. You know, we're not going to beat Interstellar at the box office, but we just don't want to get crushed by it. I did not see it winning coming at all. Now, some people want to point out, but John, internationally, Interstellar did a lot better than Big Hero 6. You can't count international numbers when you're talking about opening weekend box office because different movies open at different dates around the world. For example, right now, Big Hero 6 has only opened in 25 markets, whereas Interstellar has opened in 80 countries. So you can't really, those are apples and oranges comparisons. All we can go by right now is what's in front of us. So that was a big one to me. A disappointing thing to me was that Nightcrawler didn't stay in the top 5. Came close, still made like $5.6 million. See Nightcrawler. There's a couple of movies out, 3 movies right now that aren't ones you may have on your list that you must see. John Wick, Birdman, Nightcrawler. Go see all 3 of those, please, because they're just such a great time. But yeah, some good stuff at the box office this week. And it's not often that you get 2 films in the same weekend that make $50+ million. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, what stands out to you about the charts this week?
Yeah, obviously the top 2, but I can't say I'm that surprised. I mean, animated films are wildly successful. They have been, and especially since they've been more adult in nature, so they get both the family, sides of it. But I'm not that surprised because, #1, Interstellar is almost a 3-hour film. So that turns people off sometimes. A lot of people wanted to see it in 70mm and they couldn't because it was sold out. So I'm sure that affected it as well. And also, it's been getting mixed reviews. It is an experience that I thoroughly enjoyed, but it does bring about these big concepts. So a lot of people might just want to be entertained with Big Hero 6, not to mention the superhero craze that's baked in that as well. So I'm not that surprised. And it only lost by $5 million. It's not like it's like, 50 and 20 or something. Like it's not that large. Sure, the studio's disappointed, but I don't think it's that shocking, at least to me. But yeah, Nightcrawler disappoints me as well. I love that movie. Jake Gyllenhaal, he became that character. There's no inch of him in that role. That's in one of my top 3 of the year as well. So I highly recommend you check that out. And Gone Girl's holding steady. I mean, continues to drop.
Still in the top.
It's in the top 3.
I think it's top 3 for like the 4th or 5th week in a row.
Which is pretty impressive.
6th week in there and still at #3. It's impressive.
You know, what's impressive to me is Ouija. He's still just hanging in there, like, yeah. It's like, I did see it. Excuse me. It's an interesting film. It's not that scary, but it does have a lot of jump scares. So I think that's just word of mouth. People went to go see Ouija and they were like, was it good? They were like, it's all right, but it did scare me a bunch. So people were like, I want to see that. I think it's just, but word of mouth, I think, affected Interstellar the opposite way. It's like you said, it's a 3-hour film. You can't fit that many screenings in. So it does affect the box office. You know,
Right.
really, literally, you're taking almost 2 screenings out per day that will add those millions if you spread it all out. Big Hero 6 is shorter. It's like 90 minutes all in. So, I mean, that and word of mouth. Everybody loved Big Hero 6. Mixed feelings about Interstellar. Whether you loved it or not, it didn't get that kind of love that Big Hero 6 got. So.
Right now is a remarkable, I was looking down the top 10 list at the box office. Right now is actually a remarkable time to go to the theaters because you rarely see this. Listen to this. At the top 10, I'm going on the Rotten Tomatoes critic rating right now, right? Number 1, Big Hero 6, 91%. Interstellar, certified fresh at 73%. Gone Girl, 88%. St. Vincent, 75%. Nightcrawler, 94%.
Ow!
Fury, 78%. John Wick, 85%. The second lowest rated film out right now is Alexander and the Terrible Title, and that's at 64%. At number 10 is The Book of Life, 81%. Ouija, 8%. But I mean, look at all of these, out of the 10 top films right now, the second lowest one is Alexander, and that's 64%. And then one, which is just kind of horrible, which is Ouija at 8%. But this is a lot of solid films playing in theaters right now. All right, what's next?
Reports have been circulating for a while that Matt Damon was going to be returning to Jason Bourne, and now the actor himself has confirmed it is coming in 2016. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Damon confirmed that they will be shooting the new Bourne film in the fall of 2015 for a 2016 release date. This contradicts the earlier report that the new Damon-led Bourne film would hit theaters in 2015. Amy Rose, is it a good move for Matt Damon to return for Bourne?
It's a good move if it's a good script. I strongly preferred the entire franchise as a whole compared to the Bourne Legacy, and it was no fault of Jeremy Renner's character.
His friends call him James.
I'm on the inside track. But yeah, I don't find his Cross character as compelling as Bourne, and that's just how it goes. I think Jeremy Renner's a great action star, but it just fell flat to me, and I just didn't really care that much. But Bourne was just, I loved all 3 of them. Some are stronger than others, but I just think that, you know, he's getting his Paul Greengrass back, which we know he wouldn't do otherwise. So I do think they make magic together, and if it's the right script and the continuation of the story, it's a really rich universe that they could expand upon. And I like the idea of thinking that we could see those 2 together because, you know, they're both really solid actors. And if they do merge the stories, I think it could, again, be a really compelling storyline. So I think, you know, all the elements are intact. And I love Matt Damon. It's hard not to enjoy him on the big screen.
Shep?
Well, for me, I feel like Matt Damon kind of reconsidered, and he was like, you know what? Doing those Bourne movies was pretty cool. I was an action hero. Why am I not doing this? Like, looked in the mirror one day, was like, why am I not doing it? And so then, you know, he realized him and Paul Greengrass, I mean, Green Zone, it was all right. It wasn't like, wasn't magic, but their films, Bourne Identity, you know, all 3 of the films, even though Greengrass didn't do the first one, I think it was like Doug Liman, wasn't it?
Something like that.
But I really like the Bourne Legacy, all 3 of the films, and I like the 4th one. I thought it was fine, and there was nothing wrong with like spinning it off and giving it a new lead character. But yeah, I think Matt Damon just realized I should just really do this while I still can jump off buildings and run and fight people, you know?
Yeah, I mean, one of the interesting things to me is I was also one of these people that I really did not mind at all the Bourne Legacy. I actually thought it was okay, but it wasn't on the same caliber as the other ones. And I think a lot of people that I talked to who were disappointed in the Bourne Legacy, whenever I asked them, okay, what was it you didn't like about it? Every point they would bring up was a comparison to the original. And that's fair enough, and that's true. But I think if you just look at it at its own film, it's like, okay, this is a passable, decent little fun action flick, but this is something Matt Damon should be going back to. This is a franchise that the audience still wants more of. He always said, if you can get Greengrass back to do it, I'll do it. Greengrass is back to do it. So I'm excited for it. And let's face it, when you run down a bunch of films he's done, he's not really had that big hit. I mean, yeah, Interstellar is going to be a big, massive hit, but his is a small role in that. Then
Many people don't even know that still.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know it. So Monuments Men was not so great. Zero Theorem, not so great. Elysium, not so great.
Martians should be good. Hopefully.
Martian, hope, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
That one could be awesome. So I think this is both a wise and a financially smart move for him, and I think fans are going to be happy.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we reached that part of the show for buy or sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Ashley's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down, and then those of us at the table are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Ashley, what do we got?
According to a report from The Wrap, Academy Award-winning actor Jared Leto is looking at a role in the upcoming DC film Suicide Squad. In addition, The Wrap source tells them that the role he's looking at could possibly be that of the Joker. Schnepp, in theory, would you buy or sell Jared Leto as the Joker in Suicide Squad?
In theory, I buy it. I sell that picture of him as the Joker. I burn that picture of him as the Joker. I hate that picture of him as the Joker. But in theory, I think he's a really good actor, and in certain roles he excels really well. I think he can do a great Joker. I think he'll bring his own spin to it. And so I buy it. I think it's great.
Amy Rose?
I also buy it. We were hearing his name in the mix for Doctor Strange. Now we're hearing it for the Joker. I mean, he's got talent. He's coming off his Academy Award win. And I feel like, again, he's more of an obscure, unconventional choice because we've seen him, he's been a rock star in his recent years. And I feel like he's got the talent, and I'd really like to see him do something like that. So I think it's a great fit. Yeah, that picture's just horrendous. But yeah, I think he'd be great. But I also think it's pretty ballsy this early to introduce the Joker. So I don't know if there's actually truth to this just yet, or if they're going to cast him and then introduce him along the line. Because, everything surrounding Heath Ledger, that's a lot. Those are big shoes to fill. Everything that happened with that, I mean, it's tough. But he's such an amazing character with an amazing backstory, and I think he would do a great job.
Well, yeah, in theory, I buy this. In theory, if Leto plays the Joker, I'm all for it. After seeing Jake Gyllenhaal, though, play a sociopath in Nightcrawler,
I know, right?
I'd be all on board for a Jake Gyllenhaal playing Joker, I gotta
Me
admit.
too.
But I do want to point something out and caution everybody about this. Nobody has said that he is actually in talks to play the Joker. And despite the fact that all the movie news sites are irresponsibly running with that headline, here's the actual fact of the matter, okay? A report was made at The Wrap, and I've had some issues with The Wrap lately about their inconsistency and their just reporting the wrong stuff. But they have a source that tells them that Jared Leto is in talks and looking at a role in Suicide Squad. That's the fact of the report. He's in talks for a role in Suicide Squad. It goes on to say that the source says, could be that the role's Joker. I mean, who knows? Could be. Possibly that role could be Joker. So I liken that unto saying, hey, mom said she's going to the grocery store, she's going to pick up some fruit. Maybe it'll be apples. And then going and telling your other sibling, mom's going to the store to get apples. That's actually not correct. That's not true. Mm-hmm. And despite that, a lot of sites are running these headlines, Jared Leto eyeing role of Joker. Yeah. That's wrong. That's false. Is it possible? Could the role he's talking about in Suicide Squad be a Joker role? Well, the source said it's possible. But nobody has said, there is no report out there saying Jared Leto is talking to them. And any site that's running that headline is lying to you. Yeah. So they're wrong. But that out of the way, let's engage this possibility that what if it is the Joker role? Because there are only so many roles to go around. What if it is? Love it. I even like the picture. Screw both of you. I like the picture too. I mean, they'd have to put a little more war on his face, I think. He looks like Zac Efron in that picture.
He does.
It's too glammy.
It's creepy.
But Leto is an exceptional actor.
He is.
He always has been. Then he disappeared to be the rock star for a while, came back in Dallas Buyers Club. So yeah, don't forget, I'm world class.
The transformation of that, imagine what he would do with the Joker.
I know, it would be insane. Now, one of the things, if this is true, what it would signify to me is that the age difference between him and Ben Affleck, in that if he becomes a Joker, then I'm going to guess that Affleck's Batman doesn't have a Joker in his history yet, which is kind of weird because I think we've all just been assuming, right? And for good reason.
How old's Leto?
That's a very good question. Yeah. I'd have to look it up.
I'm
not really sure.
Early 30s maybe, but I'm not sure.
So maybe there's about a 10-year difference between him. Now I got to look it up.
Yeah.
But I think we've been assuming that Ben Affleck's Batman has already had Joker in his past. But if they do go somebody Leto or somebody his age, And maybe Leto's older than Ben Affleck for all I know, and he's, he drinks, baby blood or something and keeps that youthful look. But that would be a really interesting, that would open up a lot of different stuff, especially with Harley Quinn also being so young, but we'll get to that in a second.
Well, I think it makes sense that they run with him as being Joker as opposed to Jared Leto is maybe being cast as Captain Boomerang. People would be like, what? Well, he's up for a role, can't really tell you just yet.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's going to know who Captain Boomerang is.
And Leto did come out and say, I have met with them, I'm sworn to secrecy, but there should be something to talk about soon.
Yes.
So he definitely has met, but we don't know for what.
We don't know what for what.
Exactly.
And I got to point out, dead wrong, I need a fact checker in here. I believe it's Leto's older than Ben Affleck. Leto is 43 years old.
Wow.
I want whatever
Yep.
he's doing. Tell me your secrets.
Baby blood told you. Okay, what's next?
Well, speaking of Suicide Squad, Collider is reporting that they have a source who claims that Wolf of Wall Street actress Margot Robbie has landed the role of Harley Quinn in the film. Collider doesn't say who their source is, nor has there been any confirmation from the studio or Robbie's representatives, but it would be consistent with earlier reports that Robbie was in negotiations for a part in the film. John, would you buy or sell Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad?
If the report is, so remember, there are 3 levels of things. We have to talk about this all the time. There's rumor, which has no basis of anything. There's report, which means a fairly reputable site claims to have a source. And then there's confirmed. This isn't confirmed, but this ain't just a rumor either. If Collider is saying they've got a source that's saying this is the fact, then we've got to give it some serious weight. And if this is true, damn right, sign me up. She's great. Like, ever since I saw her, granted, I want to see her in more because my only sample size of her right now is Wolf of Wall Street, but she was damn good in Wolf of Wall Street. And you look at her, you picture her and what she can bring, and that enthusiasm, that zeal, that a little bit of craziness, that little bit off balance. I honestly think she could make an amazing Harley Quinn if this is true. So if true, I buy it.
Oh yeah, enthusiastic buy. I love her. I know you didn't love About Time, but she's still, when she's on screen, beyond just being gorgeous, she has this energy that just pulls you to her. And I mean, I love the character of Harley Quinn, the doctor gone mad. Like, there's so much that they could explore here, and it's just so compelling to me. And she's just drop dead gorgeous. She's a great actress. Wolf of Wall Street, that was a really difficult role, especially opposite Leonardo DiCaprio. So I just think this is a perfect fit. And you're right, Collider, I mean, we've heard her name in the mix now for several weeks, so this isn't coming out of nowhere. So I would bet, if I were a betting woman, and I would probably bet this will happen, and I'm thrilled about it. I think she's fantastic, and I cannot wait to see her do more, especially a role like this. What a fun role to play.
Schnepp, I gotta ask you, like we've been hearing for a while that Margot Robbie's in talks for Suicide Squad. If not Harley Quinn, as somebody who's not super knowledgeable about Suicide Squad other than a very surface level, if not Harley Quinn, who could she be?
I don't know. I mean, the other possibility would be they're bringing in like Vixen, but that's a black character. I don't know. I mean, it would be weird. There's not really that many roles in Suicide Squad that are female-driven, aside from that. And Harley Quinn's a recent addition.
Yeah.
So
this would make sense then if that it could very solidly
and
be
look
Harley
at that
Quinn.
picture. She fits it so well.
I mean, she's so startlingly beautiful that it's easy to forget how great she was in Wolf of Wall Street. That's all I have to go on from. And I was, she's so beautiful, but at the same time, she really was able to play a really cool character in that film. So I could see her playing Harley Quinn pretty easily.
All right, what's next?
One of the new films opening this week in AMC theaters is the long-awaited true sequel, Dumb and Dumber 2, featuring the return of Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels to their comedically iconic roles. John, do you buy or sell that Dumb and Dumber 2 could take the #1 spot at the box office this coming weekend, considering the success of both Big Hero 6 and Interstellar, both going into just their second weekends?
I'm probably going to be wrong about this. I'm going to predict that Dumb and Dumber will come in third, behind Big Hero 6 and Interstellar. And I don't know, Interstellar may pass Big Hero 6 this week. I mean, the thing about Big Hero 6 is Interstellar is this. Big Hero 6 is awesome, and people are buzzing about it and loving it, and the word is spreading about it. Interstellar, the majority of the people really like it, but even the people who don't like it are saying, like, it's still a movie you gotta watch.
Yeah.
This is an ambitious, love or hate the film, you're gonna be talking about Interstellar for weeks. And like, even though I liked the film, I didn't fall over myself love it, but I really liked it. And I'm telling everybody, you gotta see it. Like, you gotta see it. Even if you don't end up liking it, you have to see it. And because I think that word is getting out about both of those films, let's face it, I love the original Dumb and Dumber. It is one of the best comedies ever made. This one has not looked great. It's a little bit late. they should have come out 4 or 5 years ago.
10 years ago.
Maybe 10 years ago, and the trailers have not wowed me. So I'm going to go out on a limb and predict third. I'm probably wrong. It's going to make $100 million opening weekend and take first place, but I'm going to predict third.
I actually would have predicted third as well because there's so much heat surrounding both of these. And you're right, the passionate conversations that stem from Interstellar, wherever you fall on that side of the spectrum, that's part of the fun of film and talking about it because it is so divisive. You know, it's just split, and I love that. But I'm with you. I've not liked anything that has come from that. The pictures maybe, but the trailer, I laughed maybe once. And I don't think it's too late because getting the two leads, the same directors, like all, you know, the elements are intact, so it could be great. And maybe they're saving the laughs for the film, but they don't usually do that. They usually bait you with the good stuff. So I still want to see it because I still have this little shred of hope. But
I'll be there opening night.
I now have managed expectations, and I'm a little nervous. But I think those two are going to not drop. You know, we say 50% films opening week tend to drop. I don't think those are going to drop that much. I think they're going to drop a little bit. But yeah, I would say it will be maybe third or second. We'll see.
I say you're both wrong. Are we still buying? Because
yeah.
I buy that's going to be number one. Why? All right, I'll go 50-50. If it's not funny, if it's in the Three Stooges suck zone of the Farrelly brothers, you know, then it'll just fall off. You know, people will go see it, tell everybody, oh, don't see it, it's not funny, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then it's gone, right? But if it's even half as funny as the first one, which I loved, and if you go back and watch those trailers, I recently watched it again. The funniest scenes are not in the trailers with them screaming in the guy's ear. You want to hear a weird sound? And just, you know, there's so many funny scenes in the original film that I have looked forward to this film. I still am happy that they made it. You know, even 20 years later, I'm really glad that they made it. I hope it delivers. I would love to see it, see a really funny film this stupid make, you know, $100 million and beat Interstellar and Big Hero 6. Just it would be pleasurable to see that. But yeah, I agree with you on Interstellar. I tell everyone, I was like, I liked it, I didn't love it, but you have to see it in you know, 70 millimeter. Go see it in IMAX because it really is like impressively, you know, like a really filmic experience.
I didn't see it in 70 millimeter, but I did see it in 4K in the AMC Prime theater, which was like astounding too.
Right.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, we've reached that part of the show for Mailbag. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, just email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, if you're watching us live, we're going to take some time at the end of the show to take some of your live Twitter questions. So if you're watching live, start tweeting in your questions to @AMCMovieNews, and Ashley will pick out a couple at the end of the show. But for now, let's get to the Mailbag questions. Ashley, what do we got?
Luke McGowan writes, with good but not outstanding reviews being defeated by Big Hero 6 at the box office and other huge blockbusters like The Hunger Games coming in the next few weeks, is it still possible for Interstellar to become a billion-dollar film? My gut feeling is no.
Let's keep something in mind. Okay, made $50 million domestically opening weekend. Okay, that's doesn't bode well for hitting $1 billion. But Avatar, $2.7 billion, biggest box office hit of all time. Its opening weekend, $77 million. So now, granted, that's like, you know, 50% higher than Interstellar, but don't write it off yet. I believe it is absolutely possible. Would I put my money on it? No. My bet is that Interstellar is going to probably end up around the $650 to $700 million range worldwide when it's all said and done, but I would not count it out for hitting $1 billion. Yeah, sure, $50 million opening weekend, but Avatar had 77, which, while a lot more, is still not exactly $150 million opening weekend.
25% more, yeah.
Well, 50 million, half
Plus
of 50,
25.
50%. Yeah, that's 50% more. That's 50%.
It's 25 million more. I don't think it's like not possible to hit that. But overseas, I mean, not to mention, if you see it in IMAX, that's a couple dollars more as well. So I do think, same with Avatar, I guess, as well. But I think it's possible. I wouldn't count it off, but I don't think it's a done deal by any means.
Shem?
I'm one of those guys that says, who cares? I'd rather care. I just care about the movie and if it's good or not. We live in a society where Transformers 4 is the top film of this year. So just think about it for a minute. It doesn't matter. I mean, unless you're like a shareholder, I'm getting some of that billion. Just don't worry about it. We care about whether the movie's good or not, and whether you should actually go spend your money and see it in the theater. That's all you should care about.
All right, what's next?
Derek Walker Jr. writes, good morning. What are the chances that AMC Movie Talk can get its own show on the AMC channel?
All right, this is two great questions in one. Two great questions in one. Because I get to go at a couple of things here. Number one, for those of you who don't know, and I have to admit, I worked for and with AMC for 3 months. Worked with AMC for 3 months before I realized this. For those of you who don't know, AMC, us, the real AMC, are not AMC, the television network. There's no association whatsoever. Us, AMC, is American multi-cinema. That AMC is American Movie Classics. And I don't know that they even play movies anymore. But we are two completely, there's no tie whatsoever. There's nothing that associates us. They are two completely different companies. And a lot of people still think there's some association, understandably, because they're both called AMC, right? If you had NBC Theaters and NBC, the television network, sure, you'd make the natural assumption that they're connected. They are not connected whatsoever. Now, on the other part of the question is like, could you see AMC Movie Talk on television at some point? I've kind of addressed this before. We have had overtures made to us in the past about maybe looking at taking Movie Talk and a version of it to television, but I will tell you this right now, as long as I am here, we will never be on television. I don't think our place is on television. I don't want to be on television. I think the freedom that we have to do what we want to do and the flexibility and the worldwide audience that we're able to have, we're just best served being on the internet. That's where I want us to be. I don't want us to be on television. So as long as I'm here, we're not going to be on TV. But did you guys have anything you wanted to add to that?
Nope.
What about AMC on AMC, a very special AMC on AMC? Not the AMC that you know, but a different AMC on AMC.
For novelty's sake,
Yeah.
I may go for
Just
that.
do a one-shot one time.
Just for
That'd be
novelty's
funny.
sake. All right, folks, so I said we would save a couple minutes for your live questions, and we're going to do that right now. Tweet on in to @AMC Movie News. Ashley, what have you picked out?
Zeke writes, will CGI soon replace all stuntmen and women?
I don't think so. I think there are some things, look, it's like anything with CGI. There are some effects that are best served with CGI. There are some effects that are best served with not CGI. There are going to be some wild stunts that you can do that cannot possibly be performed with a human person that you do with CGI, but then there are going to be stunts that will look much better if you do it with a person. So honestly, no, I don't think CG, look, anything can happen in 25 years, sure. But for the foreseeable future, no, I think stuntmen, we need them in the movie industry. They make it more believable. They draw us in. I don't think we're going to see them go away. Do you guys see it any differently?
No, I mean, a lot of filmmakers still use practical effects over CGI, and yeah, I think there's still a place for both. So no, I think we'll still be utilizing.
And I think the human eye, I'll use the movie Need for Speed. Say what you will about the film, but the practical effects are stunning.
Oh, they're great.
And it's great to see it visually that you are like, wow, that's real. There's something that still hasn't replaced reality with CG. I mean, yeah, long shots and cars and things like that, you can do perfectly, flawlessly in CG. There's still that uncanny valley that we haven't fully realized yet with 3D and humans. I mean, we saw Planet of the Apes with Caesar and all those apes. That's incredible, but we're not apes, so it's a little bit easier for us to imagine that that's real. Well, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so is it going to ever replace it completely? I don't think so. I think especially in hand-to-hand fighting scenes and things like that, you'll always need stuntmen to be going through, fake brick walls and stuff like that. It's just, I mean, I would be surprised if they were like, yeah, my contract says no punching, replaced by the CG guy.
If you think about, let's go to guys like Jackie Chan, right? One of the most awesome things about the Jackie Chan films is you realize everything you see Jackie doing, that's Jackie doing. When you watch Tony Jaa in Ong Bak, right? And you realize this is a real human being who's able to do all this crazy stuff. One of the best things for me about Need for Speed when we watched that was the fact when you realize watching Need for Speed that there are no visual effects. All the car stunts and the racing, all that kind of stuff, when the cars are crushed and spinning, that's all real. They shot that for real. There's something really magical about that when you realize no special effects here, all real. This is crazy.
Using Interstellar, Nolan went out of his way to create that 360-degree, projection room for the spaceship so that they didn't use green screen.
Yeah.
And he wanted that so that not only that the actors, but everyone would feel like it's an immersive experience, even down to his camera style, like locking the camera onto the outside hull of the ship. That's just a way of maintaining that reality, that grip on reality, that if you're just floating around in 3D, of course anyone can do that. So, I mean, there's something to be said for, practical-minded cinematography and effects work.
Amen.
All right, what's next?
Jay writes, is there going to be a Pineapple Express 2? I know the first one made over $100 million, and would you want to see it?
If I don't think there is, and they even joked about it a little bit in This Is the End.
I loved that part.
Yeah, that was a great end, but I think you could tell just from the way they were talking about it, I don't think they have any plans to do it. And I'll be honest with you, in that whole kind of society of comedians there, with your Rogans, James Francos, and all those guys, I didn't love Pineapple Express. I thought it was okay, but it's probably my least favorite of the comedies that crew's given us. So, and by the way, really, every trailer I see for the interview is making me look forward to that movie more and more. Anyway, what do you guys think? Have you heard anything, or would you want one?
I haven't heard anything, and I don't need it either. I mean, whether it's them producing, writing, starring, we had Neighbors, and we had, This Is the End, which I loved, and the interview, and they seem extremely busy, and, it would be a fun little treat for their fans who want it, like the guy who just wrote us, but I don't feel the desire. I'm loving their new work that's been coming out, so I'd rather see them continue with that.
I say if they can crack one out in a month, it's a big, it's a big stoner comedy. Pineapple Express, big, I mean, come on. Like, they would just be like, let's bust it out, write it in a weekend, get Gordon Green back in there to direct it, have fun. I mean, it'd be a low-budget, fun film. How I would try to, look, it's not like Dumb and Dumber 2 where people are like, where's the sequel? And even 20 years later, it's like, oh, it's, hopefully it's really, really funny. Pineapple Express made its money. It was funny. It was okay. It wasn't like, it's not in my top 100 films, but it was really funny. If they had a Pineapple Express and it was like on rental, I'd rent it. I'd be like, yeah, of course I'll see that.
All right, let's do 2 more rapid fire here.
Right. Roshan writes, I know we haven't seen a solid video game movie yet. I'm a huge Last of Us fan. Your thoughts on Sam Raimi's adaptation of the game?
Well, I don't know for certain that Sam Raimi is doing an adaptation. I don't know if you're asking theoretically if he should do it. Have you guys heard anything?
No, last I heard he was making Diablo and quit. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Sam Raimi's next film is. I know he was attached to so many different films.
Evil Dead, and I haven't heard anything of it, but that game lends itself beautifully to a film, and with Assassin's Creed pushing back, I mean, World of Warcraft is our next big hope to hopefully get a really good game adaptation, but I haven't heard anything on what you're discussing.
Okay, so to go back, in the summer there was an announcement that Sam Raimi may be producing a Last of Us, but I haven't heard anything about that since. Last of Us is a very cinematic game. It's one of the few games I've seen that are actually designed to be very cinematic. It's all pretty much narrative, and the gameplay isn't as good as the narrative. Usually games, their gameplay is great, the narrative's questionable. This one, I thought the gameplay of Last of Us was pretty good, but the narrative was so good, and that's what made it great. But I haven't heard anything about progress, and yes, Sam Raimi, he's one of these guys where his name gets attached to a lot of stuff, and then 6 months later you find out he backed out. So I don't know if I haven't heard anything new. I haven't. All right, last question of the day.
Rustin Henry writes, what are your guys' thoughts on T.I. as an actor? Would you like to see him in more movies? Personally, I would.
This is our last question?
Can we get another one and just answer this quick? More T.I., let him rock that stuff out,
Yeah, sure. I don't care.
Bring on the jams.
Well, let me address this for a second. Generally speaking, I do not like, and I'm just going to pull up his filmography here because I'm not totally in sync with T.I.'s filmography.
Come on.
I'm generally not all that impressed with any music stars crossing over into
Ice Cube?
Thing. Yeah, Ice Cube. Ice Cube is a force of nature because of just his personality. He's no thespian.
Yeah.
But I'm a big Ice Cube fan. But let's not
22 Jump
fool
Street.
ourselves. Like, you're not going to see him in Macbeth anytime soon, right? And nor would he want to be. I mean, he does this. He's his own personality, stuff like that. Then every once in a while, you get Marky Mark and his Funky Bunch, who actually dedicates himself for like 15 years to training and getting better and actually becoming an actor. That's great too. But a lot of these times, these guys, let's just take this famous singer, let's just take this famous rapper, drop him in the movie. One of my, Will Smith, but it happened gradually over time, and it happened, and he was able to make that transition. It certainly happens. It's rare when you see how many times. One of the biggest apprehensions I have about the new Neil Blomkamp film, Chappie, is the fact that he just ran out and got a couple music stars through him and say, hey, you're famous. You must be able to act.
D. Antwoord's awesome.
So, you've seen them act?
They're awesome. Yeah, they act every performance on stage that they have.
Because that's the same
every performance.
No, they actually are actors. They were comedians before they...
I heard about that.
I've seen all their stuff. They are actually really good.
But it really makes me nervous when I hear stuff like that. So, T.I., I mean, he was in an episode of Glee. I think that's the only thing I can really remember is I remember hearing he's in an episode of Glee. So
Common's not bad.
Common has evolved though,
Yeah.
like he's another one of those guys like Marky Mark, where it's like at some point he decided I'm going to be an actor. Because what happens with a lot of what I find is a lot of these musicians who decide they want to act, they don't want to put in the work. They don't actually want to do what it takes to become an actor. To me, Justin Timberlake's a great example of that. As a guy who I'm famous, I'm really gifted, I'm talented, I don't need to train to be an actor, I don't need to go to acting classes, I don't need to do all this kind of stuff. And he's never given us what I would call a really good
I liked
performance.
him in Alpha Dog a lot.
See, a lot of people say that. I was not impressed with him in Alpha Dog.
I was.
And I was really not impressed with him in just about everything else he's done.
Social Network?
Social Network, I thought he was a one-note character. I thought anybody
I
could
agree
have
with
could sleepwalk through that role. And then you look at like whether it was in The Love Guru or were you looking.
Well,
I mean, but then again,
Love Guru.
yeah,
You
he
can't
was
bring that up in
terrible in
any.
that.
No one.
But then
is
you
good
get
in
guys
that.
like Mark Wahlberg, who's like, and Common, who at some point go, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to take it seriously, and I'm going to put everything else aside, and I'm going to train, I'm going to get the right teachers, I'm going to immerse myself in this, and then over the years, we see it really paying off. So could T.I. be one of those guys? Maybe. Nothing says he couldn't.
Adam
So-
Levine was actually good in Begin Again, and I was like, really, buddy? You're going to be in this film? And he actually wasn't bad. I'll give it to you.
All right. I haven't seen Begin Again, so I
It's
can't
great.
speak to that. All right, folks, that'll do it for this installment of AMC Movie Talk. Thank you so much for joining us today. Listen, don't forget, lots of great films playing in AMC theaters right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and of course, your movie ticket information. Don't forget, the most important part of this show is not what we at this table have to say. We're just giving you our opinions. The most important part is what you have to say. Jump into the comment section of this video and start a dialogue, start a conversation. What did you think about some of these topics? What do you think about some of the things that we said? Keep it respectful. We're all movie fans here together. So jump on in there and leave your thoughts and join the conversation. Don't forget, if you want an audio-only version of this episode, look in the description of this video and you'll find a link to our podcast feed so you can listen to us on the way to work or at the gym. And don't forget to click the thumbs up button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I want to thank the people sitting at the table with me. First of all, senior editor of Movie News here at AMC, Miss Amy Rose Eisenbach. Amy Rose, where can people find you online?
At Amy Rosie on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks, guys.
The one and the only Mr. John Schnepp. Schnepp, where can people find you?
At Twitter, Instagram, John Schnepp, and at TDOSLWH. And T.I., what superhero should T.I. play? Write that in, because I'm trying to think. I'm like, which one could, and would he do the musical soundtrack for his own film? Or would he hire out, and who would he hire?
And of course, our lovely host today, Miss Ashley Mova. Ashley, who did a great job on AMC Mailbag this weekend, by the way. Ashley, where can people find you online?
Thanks, John. Twitter, Instagram, at Ashley Mova. Happy Monday, guys.
And you can find me on all the various social media networks just at John Campia. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. My name's John Campia for AMC Movie News, and until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.